Hello, this video is about calculating whether cashback or a low APR is a better deal on a car loan. I'm your professor, Dr. Stephen Haggard. American automobile loans typically have monthly payments. In fact, unless you get one from your mom, I'm pretty sure your auto loan is going to have monthly payments. And they tend to run from 3 to 7 years, which is kind of crazy because most cars after 7 years aren't worth very much at all. So from a lender's perspective, that's sort of insane. The rates are expressed as an APR, which is an annual percentage rate. In the case of a monthly loan, this would be the monthly rate times 12. And there are manufacturer incentives that these car makers put out to try to entice you into buying a car. And one of them is the cash back. Now basically this just means that if the car is $15,000 and they give you $2,000 cash back, you're actually just paying $13,000 for the car. That's $15,000 minus the $2,000 cash back. And the other thing that they can do to try to entice you is to offer you a low APR. How do we know what is a low APR? It'll be substantially beneath what you could borrow from a bank or credit union to buy the same car. And so that would be a low APR. So here's how these problems typically look. You are purchasing a new car. The dealer offers you a choice of $3,000 cash back or 2% APR for 3 years. The cost of the car is $30,000. You'll finance your entire cash outlay for the car. You can also borrow funds at your local credit union for 6% APR for 3 years. So which option gives you the best deal? So we need to be able to set up this problem. When we read through it, we can pick out that there are two options here. If we take the cash back, then we don't get the 2% APR. Let's actually start with the 2% APR. In that case, we'll be borrowing the whole $30,000. And when we borrow money, the amount we borrow is always the present value. And as far as our I per Y, or required rate of return, I'm using the TIBA 2 plus nomenclature here, we would be putting in 2 divided by 12. Now be careful when you enter that. You want to do 2 divided by 12 equal and then hit the I per Y button because it doesn't do the calculation for you. And then we are putting in as 36. Why 36? Because there are 36 months in 3 years. And why did we divide the 2% APR by 12? Because 2% APR is actually a monthly rate times 12. So to get that monthly rate, we have to divide 2 by 12. Now going to our cashback deal, when we do that one, we have a present value of $27,000. Why? Because the car costs $30,000 and they're giving us $3,000 cash back. Therefore, we only have to borrow $27,000 and that becomes our present value. I per Y is 6 over 12. Now, where did we get the 6? We have to borrow this money somewhere. And the problem tells us that we can borrow the money at our credit union. And so that's why it's 6 over 12. And once again, the number of periods is 36. And so what we're going to do to figure out which is the better deal, we are going to compute the payments. And we're going to take the one with the lower payment. So let's take a look with our TIBA 2 plus. Let's first do the cash back. Anytime you're going to use the time value of money keys on your calculator, you want to say second clear TVM. That gets rid of anything that is in these keys because the calculator is like a wife. It never forgets. So you need to clear these keys out. Now 27,000 I'm going to put in as a negative because cash flows in opposite directions have opposite signs in the TIBA 2 plus, and that's going to make our payment to be positive. 6 divided by 12. I would hope you could do that math in your head, but if not, there we go. And there's I per y. 36 n. And then we are going to compute the payment. And I'm getting $821.39. Now, to do 2% APR, I'm going to say second, clear TVM, 30,000, negative, present value, 2 divided by 12, equal I per y, and 36 for n. And then we will compute the payment. I'm getting $859.28. So now we need to make our decision. Given that both of these loans had the same term, we're simply going to choose the one with the lower payment. And since the cashback offer has a payment of $821.39 per month, we will choose it over the 2% APR offer that offers $859.28 per month payments. And so it's easy enough for us to figure out how to make our decision on these sorts of problems. The biggest trick is just figuring out how to set them up and how to read them to know what your options are. Okay, so now let's talk about one of my favorite topics, and that's about how people are scumbags. And the finance guy at the car lot is a person, and people are scumbags. Therefore, the finance guy at the car lot is a scumbag. Now, what will a scumbag finance guy at the car lot do? They will tell you that you're getting a low APR, and then they will shoot you a payment that's actually based on a higher APR. And most people will never know the difference. But you, being an astute student of finance, will take your TI-BA 2+ with you to the car lot. And as soon as you pull it out, they will know they are dealing with someone who knows what they're doing. In fact, a colleague of mine went to buy a minivan. Now, in case you didn't know, minivans are kind of like the sweatpants of the automotive world. They just let everyone know that you've just given up on life. So, my colleague, who had just given up on life, went to buy a minivan, and he was quoted an APR along with a payment. And it didn't sound right to him, so he reached into his pocket, and being a good finance professor, he pulled out his TI-BA 2+. He said it was amazing how fast the finance guy backpedaled on how much the payment should actually be. And so doing so saved him around $1,500. So even if you forget how to use your TI-BA 2+, take it with you to the car lot and make sure the finance guy sees it so you won't get ripped off by the scumbag at the car lot.